ejpstudiospodcast on the Reddit Stories series. In this video, we unpack 3 of r/relationships wild conflicts. A girlfriend blindsided by her boyfriend's parents after a family trip, a partner struggling to communicate through body image and self-esteem, and a young woman torn between love and her dream college. Heartbreak, insecurity, and control. 3 stories that reveal how fragile connection can be when expectations collide. I, 25 female, was called selfish by my 27 male boyfriend's parents after a family trip. I have been with my boyfriend for 4 years. His parents are 64 male and 63 female. We recently all took a 12-day trip to Japan that his parents paid for. I've spent every weekend at their house, holidays with them, helped care for his elderly grandpa for months, invited his mom to workout classes with me, watched movies with them, and have always been kind, respectful, and appreciative. They've also been nothing but kind to me. On the trip, I went along with whatever the family wanted to do. I had a list of things I wanted to do but managed my expectations early on because I realized I'm on a group trip and it's not super realistic to do everything I want. I was polite, grateful, participated, and didn't complain. But by the end of the trip, I was motion sick at times and physically drained from all the walking/travel. There were a couple of days where I got quieter and more low energy. Still talked and had conversations with everyone. Just spent more time self-managing my emotions and being a little more to myself. One of the days, while everyone was taking pictures of viewpoints at the temple, I sat down to the side to rest because I was tired and not feeling great. After that, my boyfriend's dad became completely withdrawn from me for 2 days. He ignored me when I said hello, refused to look at me or sit next to me when there was an empty seat next to me, and everyone else was sitting down, wouldn't look at me, excluded me at meals, and was warm to everyone else. His mom was nicer to my face, but later agreed with him privately. The day after the trip, they told my boyfriend they thought I was selfish, only happy when I got to do things I wanted, moody/on and off. This honestly shocked me because I had spent 11 out of 12 days doing what they wanted, and even during the trip, I was still trying to be respectful and kind, even thanking them multiple times on my off days for bringing me on the trip despite feeling bad. What hurts the most is how quickly they seem to turn on me after knowing me for years and after everything I've done to build a relationship with them. I understand that maybe I wasn't my most bubbly self every second of the trip, but I feel like I was judged harshly and treated horribly by his dad for being tired and human. What would you do in this situation? I feel like the power dynamic of my boyfriend's dad who paid for the trip is punching down on me. I guess who's the youngest in the group was unforgivable. Group trips always get like that at some point. It's hard to keep that many people happy for 2 weeks. The expectation that you have to be perfect all the time because they paid for it seems unreasonable. It's okay to have various emotions. OP. Yes, I agree. I think it's okay if his dad was a bit annoyed and decided he needed time to cool down away from me, but to completely ignore me and act like I was below him by not even sitting beside me when there was an empty seat next to me was crazy. People get weird on trips. I always say, never travel overseas with people you aren't ride or die close with. Travelers are stressed. They're out of their comfort zone, sleep deprived, doing a lot of physical activity, trying to communicate, figure out food, the prices/money is different, you're trying to navigate around, the weather is different, you're worrying about safety, and all these little stresses can boil over and make people super emotional very easily. Especially Japan. Hell, I walked 15 km on my first day in Tokyo, shopped till I dropped, took a million photos, and trying to navigate the train system. It's pretty nuts sometimes. I totally understand how you can feel overwhelmed or overstimulated there. Did you mention to your in-laws that you were feeling really overwhelmed? Perhaps explain that to them if they continue acting crazy and moody, although you've definitely not done anything wrong. I just don't think they've considered how full-on the trip felt from your perspective. I also suspect that maybe they just expected you to react a certain way, like maybe totally energetic and wowed and blown away by the history or cultural places, etc. And their disappointment has manifested into this weird anger because your reactions weren't what they pictured in their heads. So if they continue acting pouty, maybe also make it clear to them that you definitely did appreciate those places/experiences that they were trying to show you. We have a saying that means you don't know someone until you've lived or traveled with them. How to better communicate with my fat boyfriend, 37 male? My boyfriend is fat. There's simply no other way to say it. I love him. I love and am attracted to his body. I love everything about him. I find him beautiful. I don't want, as in I don't expect him to lose weight or change physically. He's fat, just like his eyes are blue. But he struggles immensely with his body, coming from years of bullying and self-hatred. He's trying to lose weight, and I support him in this journey. A few days ago, he asked me if I thought he was fat. I felt stuck because I didn't know how to answer properly. And at the same time, I didn't want him to feel ashamed of his body. I was a bit elusive in my answer, but after a few back and forth, I ended up telling him that he was bigger than me, but smaller than person we know, so I'm unsure what he would like to hear. I also told him that either way, his weight didn't define his worth, and he got immediately angry at that. He didn't talk to me for a few days. He became depressed. Later, he told me that he wasn't mad at me because I didn't mean to hurt him. I'm just not sure what I should have said or how I hurt him in the first place. I didn't want to lie and tell him he wasn't fat, and also, it shouldn't be a bad thing to be fat. I wonder if I could have done something better in my phrasing, have better words to soothe him. Does anyone have any experience with such a reaction? What could I have done better? I really want to support him and be more mindful of how he feels. You did nothing wrong, but I think you shut it down next time. Tell him you will support him if he wants to lose weight and that he should come up with some actions or you're happy to explore it with him, if that's what you want, but you won't be entertaining him asking questions like that. Literally just say, I'll support you, but I'm not doing this question nonsense with you. Pretty firm choice, to be honest. As an old guy who's been in this situation multiple times in my life, that is she prettier than me? The way to handle would have redirected the conversation to ask them why they're asking that question and then drive home the key messages, I love you and you're perfect. Never answer that question directly. Ask him what he means by fat. Have him define what that means to him. I saw other comments say that he probably associates the word fat with shame or ugliness. So I feel like if he tells you what he means, it's easier to answer the question. If he says it means overweight, then maybe a logical or honest response works. But if he says it means ugly or some other negative descriptor, then maybe a gentle approach is better. It is not your job to bring somebody to self-awareness and self-acceptance, but you can do that by shutting down the conversation entirely and forcing him to sit with the discomfort he created for himself. He has to choose what he wants to act on. And you can be his cheerleader, but you cannot be his motivation. That is intrinsic, and to put that pressure on you will never lead to a happy relationship. People have to want to do better for themselves. Otherwise, you start to become codependent and enable behaviors that actually hurt them. My boyfriend, 19 male, doesn't want me, 18 female, going to my top school choice, but I already committed to it. How do I tell him? So, I really want to get into the radiology field, but that kind of limits my college choices. However, OSU, Ohio State University, has a bachelor's path for it, while most of the other colleges I've seen are associate. I do want to aim for a bachelor and maybe complete the prerequisites needed for medical school at the same time. That's so I can have different options after graduation, I think. Anyways, I mentioned briefly my interest in attending OSU to my boyfriend, but he got a bit upset and said it was just a party school. To be honest, I didn't know it was a party school before applying and everything because I was just looking at the academic side of it, because it's a school. He explained then that I can't go there because it's a party school and he doesn't want me around that. I later visited the campus and it's really big. But that also means there's a lot of communities within it, so there will be plenty of people who aren't into parties. And I'm neurodivergent, so I'm not really into parties that much. So if or when I attend, I wouldn't be partying. I again hinted at attending OSU to him again, but not fully telling him everything because I'm nervous on how he will react, because he gets angry really fast and takes a lot of things personal. Which is fine, but it makes it hard to communicate. Anyways, he then told me he doesn't want me going there and just do what you want, I know you're already not going to listen, and that I should go to a community college next to him because it will be closer and I can live with him in his parents' house. I would like to be closer. However, I want a bachelor degree while that college only offers an associate. Question: I want to fully tell him that I've committed to OSU, but I know he'll be upset about it, but is there a way to tell him and have him be more understanding? I don't want to make an argument about it with him, but I know it will because he'll get upset about it. I'm also worried about him breaking up with me and ending our 2-year relationship over the school I choose. Boyfriend told me he doesn't want me going to a college before I got the chance to tell him I committed to it. How do I tell him in a way that won't create a huge problem? You are too young to be held back from your dreams. Go where you want and dream big. Go to college and follow your dreams. Him not wanting you to leave is a red flag. I had a boyfriend like that in high school who told me I was shouting to go to college. I ignored him and went away. Your boyfriend should not have any say in where you seek higher education. You should just tell him, this is where I'm going to university. Your support would mean a lot to me. And then just go from there. A man who wants you to reach for the stars wouldn't want you to miss an opportunity like this. You should never let someone else decide what your future should be. Follow your own path. You don't say what he is doing with his life. Is he in college or working? Is he afraid that you will become smarter than him and outgrow him? You could be exposed to party animals walking down the hallway at your local mall. Don't listen to him. You have already outgrown him by researching your own future. Good luck. Enjoy college and your future. Reflecting on these stories reminded me of times when silence or needing space was misread as selfishness. In my own family, the expectation that answering right away fixes everything taught me how differently people value communication. Now I see group dynamics as a mix of patterns and limits, and the truth that boundaries can exist without disrespect. With self-esteem struggles, I've learned that honesty without sensitivity can sting, so I try to frame truth with empathy, showing that my words are meant to support and not diminish. And when choosing between dreams and someone else's comfort, I've realized self-love and independence must come first. Protecting the present moment refines the future. The value lies in knowing that conflicts, insecurities, and controlling pressures are common, but responding with respect, empathy, and self-trust is what allows growth and healthier relationships. A girlfriend judged harshly on a family trip, a partner navigating body image insecurities, and a young woman torn between love and her dream college all highlight how fragile relationships can become when expectations clash. Each situation unfolds in different contexts. Travel abroad with family, private conversations shaped by past bullying, and the pivotal choice of higher education. Yet they share a common thread of pressure, misunderstanding, and the struggle to balance personal needs with others' demands. These dilemmas mirror challenges we face in school, community, and family life. The tension between belonging and individuality, honesty and sensitivity, love and independence. They remind us that growth often requires uncomfortable conversations and the courage to protect our own limits. The long-term takeaway is clear. Sustainable relationships thrive not on perfection, but on empathy, respect, and the freedom to pursue one's path without fear of judgment or control.